Yesterday, I posted a video showing how the Western countries, led by the United States, are behaving hypocritically in the face of a crisis. Differences in political ideology should not be a barrier to helping fellow human beings out of empathy and compassion. Unfortunately, the illegal unilateral sanctions imposed by the world's biggest bully hinder the delivery of vital resources in a matter of life and death. I plead with Western governments, the United States in particular, to lift the illegal and unjust sanctions on the people of Syria. Here is today's situation. We need a solution fast.
The latest statistics indicate that more than 1,602 people have died and thousands more have been injured in the disaster-stricken nation of Syria due to a large earthquake with a magnitude of 7.8 Richter that struck the country early on Monday. The Syrian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has requested the International Committee of the Red Cross, ICRC, among numerous other humanitarian groups, to assist the nation in the wake of the horrific calamity that has befallen Syria. Syrian Foreign Minister Faisal Maqdad met with members from the UN and several NGOs to explain how the unilateral sanctions negatively influence the country's position and the humanitarian response to it. Local sources informed reporters that many foreign shipping companies have declined to land in Syria out of concern for US and EU sanctions after several nations requested Syrian airline companies to transport tons of aid aboard their civilian airliners, which are not designed for transporting such large amounts of aid. According to Lieutenant Colonel Mohanad Jafar, the head of the fire department in Latakia, the unjust sanctions on Syria directly contributed to an increase in the number of victims as a result of the earthquake because of the inability to secure modern machinery and equipment used in such instances. We have fulfilled our duty as per the capabilities available to us. Our entire regiment, with all its firemen, is on high alert. Rescue operations are still ongoing, but we are sadly taking more time because we do not have the proper equipment or a sufficient number of vehicles. Were we to have had these capabilities, we would have been able to save more lives, added Lieutenant Colonel Jafar. Social media users have been posting a screenshot from a live flight tracker that contrasts Syria, which borders Turkey to the south, with Turkey's airspace, demonstrating how the world quickly relieved Turkey. In contrast, Syria has no air traffic at all. According to some sources, 62 assistance teams from 50 nations have entered Turkey, but only a few have reached Syria. Local Latakia resident Mohammed, 40, described how they waited hours for search and rescue teams to arrive at the scene. To save their homes and neighbors at this time, the people resorted to hand clearing any debris they could. Mohammed lamented the state of affairs in Syria while recalling the vast resources his nation possessed before the conflict and how it had sent supplies and equipment to other disaster-stricken countries around the globe, including India, Pakistan, Indonesia, and Iran, when they had been affected by similar catastrophes. Aleppo has been deemed the area with the most severe damage, with more than 46 homes already being demolished. The Aleppo municipality claimed that owing to the extent of the damage caused to the governorate, it was extremely difficult to provide the necessary tools and personnel. According to Ahmed Rahmani, deputy chief of the Aleppo City Council, the fierce military battles that took place in Aleppo have directly contributed to the collapse of the buildings after the foundation of these buildings were damaged, and the reconstruction efforts were delayed due to the sanctions on Syria. The Aleppo governorate has been pleading with individuals, businesses, and contractors with vehicles to support and aid in removing the rubble, particularly in the heavily inhabited areas, since the wee hours of the morning. The Engineers Syndicate urged all its members to remain inside the syndicate building to fulfill their civic responsibility and assist those in need. Civilians were forced to seek sanctuary in buildings that were partially or destroyed and lacked basic infrastructure and services due to the terrorist attack on Syria. Syria urgently needs assistance from international organizations at home and abroad, declared Khaled Assusi, Secretary General of the Syrian Arab Red Crescent, in a distress call to international organizations. According to Assusi, there is an urgent need for equipment for rescue operations, particularly when it comes to clearing rubble, as well as fuel and medicines needed to run hospitals. In light of the devastation wrought by terrorist organizations and foreign mercenaries, the Syrian Ministry of Health estimates that billions of Syrian pounds were lost by the country's healthcare system throughout the 10-year war. During the years-long conflict in Syria, terrorists completely destroyed 38 hospitals, along with 450 vehicles and more than 700 Syrian doctors.
The Syrian Trust for Development called on those wishing to participate in the national campaign in support of those affected by the disaster to donate cash directly to the following accounts at Biblos Bank.